Hey, good morning YouTube. Moto America here. So today we're going to do a tail tidy on my new GSX-S1000F. The tail tidy kit removes this giant fender that comes from the factory. It makes the bike look much better, of course. So the kit I have is from Vagabond, and let me show you that. So the kit is from Vagabond Motorsports, and it's a very simple bracket. It's very heavy duty. It has gusseted side panels. This is where the plate is, of course. This is where the license plate light will mount. It comes with aluminum and stainless steel hardware. And the tools you will need to complete this project is a 10 and 8 millimeter wrench, a 10 millimeter socket, a 4 millimeter and 5 millimeter hex wrench, Phillips screwdriver, and a wire cutter. Let's get started. Okay guys, so the first thing we want to do is remove the seat, and the bolt for that is located underneath the passenger seat. It's right here. It's a 5 millimeter hex. Undo that. Make sure you put all your parts aside so you don't lose them. After we do that, we can remove the seat, and then you'll see the battery area. It's all opened up. Very simple. So next up you want to do is to loosen these cable ties, these wire wraps. There's 3 of them, and they're reusable, so don't cut them. There's a tab on each one. You just push down and feed the tail back into the body. So loosen up this one or take it off. This one, there's one back in here. It's a little harder to get to. We're after these connectors that are right here. Okay, so the connectors we want is the black one, the gray one, and the white one. It's right inside there, you can't quite see. That's the plate light. So to take these off, you just simply pull up on this clip and slide them out. There's the black one, there's the gray one, and the white one. You just kind of reach in there. Same thing. There's the white one. Okay, so that's pretty simple. And you want to pull these out. Okay, there's 1, 2, 3. And then pull them out from underneath and behind here. Man, it is hot in Florida today. Pull them out. Once you have all 3 in this area loose, see they go into the fender right through that hole down there. At that point, we can go down to the bottom and take that part off. Be right back. Alright guys, so the next step, we need the 10 millimeter socket, and you're going to take out these 4 bolts that hold the fender, the tail, onto the bike. They're kind of hard to get to, the back ones. So you might just take the socket to pull those out after you loosen them up. We're going to replace these with the stainless hardware. So if you happen to lose one, don't worry about it. Okay, you notice it comes out. There it is. That's your tailpiece. Gives you all that problem. Looks so bad on the back of the bike. We're going to replace that. The next step, we have to remove the license plate light and the 2 turn signals. What I'm doing with this kit is, at least for now, I'm going to reuse the turn signal and the license plate light, and later on if I want to, I can add LED turn signals. So you flip it over, and what you have to do is remove these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Phillips screws. Just set them aside. Keep 2 close by because we're going to reuse 2 of these on the tidy tail kit. 2 of the screws will be used for the tidy tail. Vagabond has pretty good directions there, and this is all written in the directions. So after you take those screws out, this plate will come out. You can, do whatever you want with that. Okay, here we go. You can see the license plate light is held in by these screws. We'll take those out next. And the turn signals are held on by these 8mm nuts. That's why we're going to have the 8mm wrench to take those off. And this section here is the only reason you need this cutter, because there's a tie wrap right here that you have to cut. Make sure you don't cut the wires. There we go. Tie wrap gone. This done. Okay, so I'm going to take out these screws first. You notice these are very long, right? We won't use these again, so put those aside. We will use this small fender washer. Again, long screw, don't need it. Fender washer, need it. So the reason these are so long and why we're not going to need these is because from the factory, the license plate light comes with this big spacer block, and we're not going to use that on the tidy tail. So this will go away too. So anyway, pull this out. You notice it has this boot. We are going to reuse that boot, so kind of pull that boot out of the slot. Here's the boot, keeps the water out, so that's fine. Got to take this off for now because we have to get that spacer block out of there. So take that spacer out, put that in the to-go pile, and you need this piece. And don't damage your rubber gasket. Okay, so next is the turn signals. 8mm, just take those off. Again, save this, you're going to use it again. Okay, save the nut, and then remove the turn signals from this assembly. Now these are really in there tight, so I like to use something to push them out with. Alright guys, so I'm using this flat bladed screwdriver just to push that post out because it was kind of stuck in there. Yours might come out easier. So then just pull that wire out. Carefully don't pull the connector off the end. And there's your turn signal. Remember when you reinstall these on the new device, this little mark goes down towards the ground. Okay, got those out. This to-go pile, right? All right, so let's start to assemble the new kit. The exciting part. We're going to start with the turn signals. Okay, this goes, again, the lettering down. So this will be this side. Just feed the cable through. Now you notice the stud goes in the small hole, like that. Okay, of course the nut goes on, same as before. Now what you have to do is, because the bike is kind of like that, right? The rear of the bike goes this way. Vagabond has made this angle almost parallel with the ground when it's assembled. So if you have your lights line up so that this is a parallel line, like the ground line, you want those kind of straight, you know, perpendicular to that line. You want the lights to be so that you can see them from the back. After you get them where you want them, tighten it back up. Now don't over tighten these, but you want to make sure that the gap closes up. You can check that angle once in a while, make sure it's where you want it. I think that's pretty good. Tighten it up. Again, don't overdo this, you know, don't bring out the big gun muscles on this. You don't want to pull that stud out of this rubber thing. Okay, so that's pretty darn good. And the lettering faces down. Let's do the other side. Okay. Nut back on. Damn, it's hot out here. Holy shit, it's hot. Okay, so you want these to be about the same as the other side, right? So you don't look like some kind of newbie. Start to tighten that up. And get that looking good. Something like that looks pretty good. Maybe. Yep. Okay. Tighten that up. Damn, it's hot today. I'm sweating my ass off. That's how to look in the back. Like that. Okay. What I'm doing, I'm just tightening so they're about the same number of threads sticking out. At least both sides are the same then. That looks good. And we want to feed these wires, these cables, through that grommet, which will eventually go up into the bike. Alright guys, so moving on, we're going to install the license plate light. Okay guys, next is the license plate light. You'll notice on this rubber gasket, there's a small slot right here. This slot needs to point down towards the ground, so any water, like rainwater that might collect in there, can drain out. So we're going to feed this back in to the new tidy tail, the same kind of slot as the factory had. So just kind of feed that in there. When you work it in and it's done, it's going to be nice and flush. Might take some doing. Okay, there you go. It's hard to see. There you go. You can see it's in there nice and everything's flat where it's supposed to be. And this side, it's nice. It has the same shape as it's supposed to have, right? Same as it had before. So then we can feed the license plate light, of course, the light down towards the plate, into that. Okay, and those like posts go right into the holes. Okay, that's how it looks when it's done. Pretty fandancy, right? Exactly. So on this side, to assemble it, we're going to use those fender washers, remember, and 2 of these screws. Now remember, you're just screwing into plastic, so don't over tighten it. We don't want to strip it out. Okay, you can get them pretty tight. Just don't overdo it. Okay, so now the fun part is you got to put this wire down through that same grommet, and when you get it all completed, part of that gasket will be down inside the grommet also, which is good. So feed that down in there. There we go. You can see that part of this is shoved inside the grommet, which makes it even more watertight. So that's it. That's it for this, and let's go back to the bike. Alright guys, so now we're going to put the tidy tail assembly we just finished onto the bike. So you'll see the kit comes with these spacers. The spacers have to go on top of the plate, and the bolt with the lock washer go in from the bottom. So this fills that gap that has the bike. So this fits in really nice when it's done. But do the front two first. Make it easier on yourself. First thing to do is to pass those wires back up into the bike. Then go ahead and add one of the screws and a spacer and get that started into the bike. Okay, so I'm going to put all four of those on there. Do the front two first because you can still get to the back two. See the gap it leaves open here? So do the front two first, then do the back two, and then tighten them all up with your 4mm Allen wrench. Alright guys, you can see I've got them all started there. Now I just have to use the 4mm wrench, screw them all in. Right? You see it forms a nice seal almost because the tidy tail plate is the same shape as that strange cutout in the bike. So I like this about this kit. It's very nice. So I'm going to tighten these, be right back. Alright guys, you can see the kit went on very simple. I'm only into about 30 minutes right now. I gotta say this is much simpler, much easier than the tidy tail on my FZ07. This one is really simple. So now we have the three wires coming out the back, of course. We just have to route those around and plug them in. So let me do that. I'll be right back. Alright guys, you'll see I have it all plugged in. I put the black back to the black connector, the gray back to the gray, and the white to the white. Retighten that tie wrap. It's nice and neat again. Nothing's going to vibrate. I retighten that tie wrap down in there. It's hard to see. And because the tidy tail is closer to the bike than that giant fender, you have some extra wires, extra length of wire, right? So I just made a loop right here and put the tie wrap on the loop. Looks just fine. Doesn't get in the way of the storage area. And we're all good. And that is it. All that's left now is to add the plate, license plate, which use the stock hardware to mount your license plate on here. The kit also has these little rubber standoffs, which is really nice because it keeps the license plate from rattling against that metal plate. This thing is sturdy. You can see I can rock the whole bike with that bracket. It's very well made. I would definitely recommend it. You can use the stock lights if you want, or you can replace them with LED. Either way you want to do it. It looks very tidy tail nice. Alright YouTubers, so there's the final product. Tidy tail installed. Took me about 45 minutes to do, even while filming. So this is a very simple installation. I think it looks really nice. It definitely gets rid of that terrible stock fender. And my tail is looking tidy. Yes indeed. So if you like my videos, please hit the like button. And also, please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Keep riding, keep safe. Thanks for watching. See you later. And today I want to show you my new bike. I went ahead and I traded in the FZ07